Bandits kidnap commuters in Katsina community. Atiku travels to the UK as rift with Wike lingers. Nigeria's energy transition plan to gulp 172.8 trillion naira. And on the foreign scene, fighting resumes in northern Ethiopia after 5-month break. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Bandits on Wednesday blocked the Katsina-Jibia road and kidnapped an unspecified number of commuters. The bandits occupied the road and fired gunshots to scare commuters before they kidnapped the occupants of 2 vehicles. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi gives us an update.
It is quite true that terrorists on 5 motorcycles, 3 on each, armed with AK-47 rifles, blocked Katsina-Jibia Road and precisely at Kadobe village abduct passengers Wednesday evening. The incident occurred around 5 p.m. and of course the number of the abductees is yet to be identified. But the abductees were occupants of 2 buses heading to Jibia. The terrorists, on arrival at Kadobe, started shooting sporadically in the air to scare people. An eyewitness account told Trust TV that there is a checkpoint less than 200 meters away from the scene of the attack being manned by immigration personnel. And besides that, the witness alleged that security operatives were informed about the movement and the mission of the terrorists, but failed to help in averting the attack. And up to the time they unleashed their mayhem, nothing was done by any security personnel.
And a 40-year-old man lost his life in an inferno at General Hospital at Badawa Layout in Nasarawa local government area of Kano State on Wednesday. Spokesman of the Kano State Fire Service, Saminu Abdullahi, said on Thursday that the service received an emergency call that there was a fire outbreak at the facility. Abdullahi said the fire started in a generator room where 2 diesel tanks and 4 sets of generators had been completely razed. The victim was pronounced dead on arrival at the Muhammad Abdullahi Wasi Specialist Hospital, where he was taken for medical attention. The corpse has been handed over to the police at Badawa Police Divisional Headquarters. Meanwhile, 1 person has been reportedly killed following a disagreement between 2 communities during a football match in Nukai within Ardokola local government area of Taraba State. Police spokesman in the state, Abdullahi Usman, while confirming the incident, said the divisional police officer of Ardokola local council was not spared as he was pelted with stones, which led to the breaking of his head, as well as other officers when they made efforts to restore peace. Several others were said to have also been injured, with some receiving treatment at various health facilities in the area. Usman said arrests have been made and an investigation into the incident has been fully launched. And to politics now, where the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has flown to the United Kingdom in an apparent attempt to salvage his relationship with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. Wike had reportedly met with the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Tuesday, perhaps exploring his options ahead of the 2023 elections. Although the governor has vowed not to leave the PDP, some believe he is not motivated enough to throw his weight behind Atiku's campaign to become president. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday said he will not support candidates of other political parties against those of his party, the All Progressive Congress. According to a statement by our presidential spokesman, Garba Shehu, the president assured that he would continue to support the party at all levels to enforce discipline, synchronization and coordination. The statement by the president follows increasing insinuations that some stalwarts of the ruling party will support the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his APC counterpart. President Buhari also directed officials in and around the presidential villa and all those engaging in loose talks to shun controversial statements that may hurt the party and the government. And still talking politics, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has denied any move to collapse the party structure with other political parties. The national chairman of the party, Rufai Alkali, said the party is not ready to surrender its legitimacy as a duly registered political party to any other party. Alkali, who spoke with newsmen in Lagos, was responding to speculations that the supporters of its presidential candidate and national leader, Rabiu Kwankwaso, were in talks with the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The NNPP chairman said the room for mergers among political parties had already closed, citing the rules and guidelines for the 2023 elections released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Speaking on the recent defection of former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekaru from the party, Alkali said the party respects his decision but will not be dragged into any controversy. Meanwhile, ahead of the 2023 general elections, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has appealed for unity among party members in the state. Sule made the call on Wednesday in Lafia while receiving the report of the Reconciliation Committee set up to address the grievances of members after the recent party primaries in the state. He commended the aggrieved persons for appearing and tabling their issues before the committee and promised to do his best towards implementing the recommendations of the committee to ensure victory for the party in 2023. Earlier, Chairman of the committee, Hassan Liman, expressed gratitude to the governor for giving them the opportunity to serve the state and the party.
And started it from there. So it is our own responsibility to be able to keep the flag flying. We can't come and meet it and then kill it along the way. It will not be our dream, and our dream is actually to take it from here to that next level. And we are one of the few states actually that have gotten to the stage where we are at the moment. There are so many states that are still finding one problem or the other and have not even found ways to be able to get to where we are.
And once again, we thank you. It is an honor, it is a privilege to work for our great party under the leadership of Your Excellency, the leader of our party in Nasarawa State. We want to assure you that this our great party, by the interaction, by what we have done with our elders and critical stakeholders in this state, believes that in 2023, our party, the great APC, will win election at the House of Assembly, at the governorship, at the House of Representatives, and at the Senate.
And to Kogi State now, where the state judiciary has uncovered 268 ghost workers on the payroll of the State High Court. The chairman of the Staff Verification Committee, Justice Muhammad Etsu Umar, disclosed this on Wednesday while presenting the report to the acting Chief Judge, Justice Josiah Joe Majebi, in Lokoja. Justice Umar said the malpractice had led to an astronomical increase in personnel emoluments, representing a 40% increase in personnel costs. The committee also recommended the termination of all illegal appointments into the services of the Kogi State Judiciary between January 2021 and June 2022. In his remarks, the Chief Judge said the assignment would be a continuous exercise to ensure due process and diligence in staff recruitment and administration. He promised to implement the recommendations of the committee without delay. And Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola on Wednesday inaugurated Implementation Committee for the newly established State University. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade reports that the State House of Assembly passed a bill for the establishment of the university through upgrading of the State's College of Education in Ilesha to a university status. At the inauguration of the committee, Oyetola said the objective is to increase access to quality and equitable education so as to empower Osun citizens to realize their full potential.
to further expand access to qualitative education among the opportunities for our young population. The decision to upgrade the College of Education in Ilesha, I must note, is not out of a product of mere fanciful effort, but one that is a product of thorough and rigorous interrogation, characteristics of a culture of deep engagement for which this administration is noted. Among others, we also took into copious consideration the College of Education is existing infrastructural and human resources asset as the state's oldest college of education in Nigeria.
And now to Delta State, where the State Police Command have received 5 operational Hilux patrol vehicles donated by the Chief of Defence Staff, General Lucky Irabo. Presenting the vehicles, the 63 Brigade Commander General Mayeranso David said the gesture is to improve the interagency cooperation and improve logistics for the police in crime fighting. Delta State Commissioner of Police Ari Muhammad Ali noted that the move will boost the morale of police personnel in the state and assured the Chief of Defence Staff that the vehicles will be used judiciously to enhance the fight against crime and criminality across the state.
With the sister security and law enforcement agencies in Delta State, that is why he delegated me to be here this afternoon to make this presentation of these 5 patrol vehicles to the police. And I must also add that the Chief of Defence Staff intends to extend more of this gesture to other security and law enforcement agencies in Delta State in due course, of course, within the availability of resources.
I am indeed highly elated. The uncommon example the CDS has given and of course done to the police this afternoon. That is community policing in action, showing that the police and the military have that symbiotic relationship in order to fight crime. And with these vehicles, you can trust that criminals in Delta State will have no hiding place any longer. With this, we are further encouraged, we are further emboldened to go out there and fight crime to the best of our ability and ensure that Delta State remains, of course, the hub of economic and commercial activities.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, how local maize flour gains popularity. Details of this and more after the break. Please stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Bandits kidnap commuters in Katsina community. And you also heard that Atiku travels to the UK as rift with Wike lingers. And moving on to other news now, the Gombe State government has pledged to provide plots of land to the victims of floods in Bajoga, Funakaye local government. In early August 2022, flood destroyed over 100 houses in Bajoga town, rendering hundreds of people homeless. A 3-year-old child died and many others were wounded.
To have a geospatial information of all our locations so that they can advise. And linking them with the local government means the needful will be done, and there will be a proper layout where we'll take care of all the social needs of the people. And again, we'll have prohibition for them to build houses. And government will give every support in that regard so that at long last, at least our people will be living harmoniously and peacefully.
And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, on Wednesday launched digital gadgets to aid its strategic disaster communication system. NEMA Director General Mustafa Ahmed, who launched the High Terror radios, said the introduction of strategic communication technologies was to enhance effective communication among team players. He listed the new strategic communication frameworks as digital push-to-talk over cellular and broadband communication infrastructure and high-terror devices. Ahmed said the launch was the first phase and all the agency's offices nationwide will be covered. He said the 160 available radios will be deployed across the agency's offices. And as the struggles by families to afford 3 square meals heighten, local maize flour has flooded markets across Katsina State. The maize flour, popularly known as garin kilo, is used in preparing tuwon masara, which is easy to make. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi visited some spots where this popular corn flour is being processed and sold.
Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. Maize flour is now a lucrative business in many towns and cities in the northern part of Nigeria, especially in Katsina State. Apart from its availability, maize flour is affordable, easy to make, and it saves time. Families prefer to patronize this ready-made flour as it is a shortcut of cooking a satisfying meal for the family without any fuss.
You have the time to quickly process the food and then process the raw material and eat the food. Unlike when you go and buy the maize, you have to process it, it takes a long time, and you are alleviating the difficulties to your family. They don't have to process all through. And the cost difference isn't much. It's even cheaper, better, more efficient just by the processed one.
Observers said production of this maize flour has also increased the value chain of the business as more people are involved before it gets to the end user. A lot of people are making money with this business. You can see people from mulling, grinding to milling and sales of the flour. Everyone is making money. The prices of the corn flour differ depending on the quality and quantity required by the buyer. However, in this market, there are 3 categories of the flour. The Damfuntua, which is of high quality, Dankatsina, a step lower, and the ordinary, which is of the lowest of all. What is amazing is that each category tastes different when prepared. How much is the cost of this flour, sir? It is of 3 to 4 categories. There is the one processed in Funtua, which is the best. It costs 350 naira per kilo. There is also the one processed in Katsina on the ordinary one, which costs 300 and 250 respectively. Traders are, however, making a brisk business here, being a popular meal and affordable, and is eaten by almost every family. With the projection of imminent hunger by the World Bank, people are calling on relevant authorities to check the rate at which inflation is raking the already fragile economy of the nation. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Post Television News, Katsina.
And media practitioners in Benue State have commended the contributions of the profession to national development. Giving an objective assessment of the practice vis-a-vis some of the challenges practitioners face in the discharge of their duties, they say they are pleased with the impact of the profession on Nigeria. The report.
According to a media consultant, Emmanuel Ohiomekari, journalists are doing well despite limitations and frequent attacks.
The media in Nigeria is doing enough within their limits. Within their limits, because I would have said that they are not doing enough, but when you consider the circumstances and the environment in which they operate, where, like I've told you, no insurance cover and practically no protection, because those who should be protecting them become sometimes those who violate them. For instance, you look at where government institutions become agents of attack for the media practitioners.
Some who spoke in Makurdi accused some journalists of leaning towards a political movement or agenda, as some of their stories suggest. They also want the wealth of media practitioners to be prioritized to encourage objectivity and independence on the part of the journalist.
Today, people look at journalists as political actors. They expect you align yourself with a certain political party. Sometimes they judge you based on the news, the reports you give out there. Some see you as pro-PDP, pro-APC, but journalists should, as much as possible, try to have a balance.
Then for women have a lot of role to play in the society, because we have noticed, or it has been established, that women's issues are relegated to the background. So women journalists present women issues better.
The media practitioners called on the authorities to guide journalists through policies and provide security cover for them while in the field.
When we cover events and report the way it is, we should not be harmed by those who may feel that we have exposed some certain things. That security should be guaranteed, that the kind of information we are feeding the public, we are not held responsible.
While there have been renewed calls for media practitioners to improve on their craft, journalists are lamenting poor remunerations and risks associated with the job.
And in order to carry out Nigeria's energy transition strategy, the World Bank and the U.S. Export-Import Bank have pledged over $3 billion. The commitment was made by the international organizations on Wednesday at the official launch of the Energy Transition Plan by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The World Bank's Country Director for Nigeria, Shubham Chowdhury, stated that the organizations aim to contribute more than $1.5 billion to the country's energy transition plan. Osinbajo noted that Nigeria's energy transformation would require huge investment, including spending $410 billion by 2060. He said Nigeria has established an inter-ministerial working group to implement the energy transition, and it is currently negotiating with partners to secure an initial $10 billion support package ahead of COP27. Now for a look at the foreign scene, where fighting erupted between government forces and Tigrayan rebels in northern Ethiopia on Wednesday, shattering a 5-month truce and dealing a blow to peace efforts. Reports of fresh offensives were followed by Ethiopia's Air Force announcing it had downed a plane carrying weapons for the Tigray People's Liberation Front. The government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the rebels have accused each other of undermining efforts to peacefully resolve the brutal 21-month war. UN Chief Antonio Guterres said he was deeply shocked by the renewed fighting and appealed for an immediate cessation of hostilities and for the resumption of peace talks. Similarly, the head of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, called for a peaceful resolution, while the United States urged both sides to redouble efforts to advance talks to achieve a durable ceasefire. And for a look at sports, where Swedish top-tier side Elfsborg have confirmed the signing of Kenya international Timothy Noor Uma from Football Kenya Federation Premier League side Nairobi City Stars. The 18-year-old directly contributed to 16 goals for Simbawa Nairobi last season and has now signed a deal that will keep him at his new team. The versatile attacker has been in the ascendancy last season. He managed to score 7 goals and provide 8 assists in the 29 Kenyan top-tier flight matches. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.